Hello and welcome back to my channel. And I've decided to do an impromptu 24-hour reading vlog. On Goodreads, one of the groups I'm in is doing a 24-hour reading challenge, and so I decided that I was going to stay up for 24 hours and read. Starting now at 11 p.m., so it's not the greatest idea to start when I'm already somewhat tired. So we'll see how well I do. Because I normally go to bed around this time, so yeah, this is going to be fun. To start out, I have my reading list, which is all going to be audiobooks, which makes it a little bit easier. But there's still a good chunk of time. I'm trying to finish up the selection series, so I'm going to be reading The Crown by Kiera. And I only have 2 hours and 43 minutes of that left. That's one that's almost done because I've been listening to it off and on the past week. And Sea Witch by Sarah Harris, which is 8 hours and 25 minutes. It's the longest book I have. It's going to be my long haul book. Hopefully I finish it. Once More Upon a Time is a novella by Regina Corsten. I'm probably jipping her name. It is 3 hours and 26 minutes. I don't know much about it. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which is a classic. I've been wanting to read more classics, and the fact that this one was 4 hours and 49 minutes, it really jumped out at me. And forgive my language, but the title is Unfuck Your Intimacy Using Science, A Better Relationship, Sex, and Dating by Faith G. McHarper, Doctor, and it has just her whole set of letters that she's earned over the years from studying. And it's 4 hours and 1 minute left because I started that one and haven't finished it yet. So I have a goal of reading 5 books, and I plan on doing check-ins every 3 hours. So since I'm starting this at 11, it'll be 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and because I had it when I started at midnight, but I decided to start at 11 instead. So I'll do the math and everything to get the check-ins properly, because I had it set up for midnight and I realized that I messed up now. But yeah, so I will see you back in at my next check-in, and hopefully I don't fall asleep. But that's the fun of the challenge, is to see if I fall asleep and also see how much I end up reading in the time allotted. So I have from 11 o'clock p.m. now to 11 p.m. tomorrow. So, alright, bye-bye. Until the next clip. Alright, it is 2 a.m. And I'm doing my first check-in. I finished up my first book, which was The Crown by... Let me check. I'm sucking at this. And it moved. Okay, there it is. The Crown by Kiera. So now I will be moving on to either Sea Witch or Unfuck Your Intimacy. I haven't decided which one I'm going to work on now. But one's going to be really long, and then one's going to be about 4 hours, and one's 8 hours. So I will see you in the next update, because I finished my first book. And now I will decide on the next book and see you at 5. Alright, this is update number 2, and it's 5 o'clock, and I fell asleep. I did not finish a book. I did start a book, but since I was in the bedroom, I fell asleep, and so I ended up sleeping for most of the time instead of listening to a book. So, but that's 5, and I have a little bit of energy, so I will be getting back to it. See you in the next update. Hopefully I don't fall asleep again. Hi, it is 7:40, and I've decided that I'm going to take another nap. But I've gotten really far into Fuck Your Intimacy Using Science and Relationship Behavior, Sex and Dating by Faith G. Harper, PhD. I have about an hour left of that book, so I'm gonna listen to that after my nap, and then I will be back at 11 to tell you how my progress is going. So I will see you next at 11. Hi, it's 11 a.m. and I just slept for most of that time, so I kind of failed at this 24-hour readathon already, like I said in my last clip. But I'm planning on finishing up Fuck Your Intimacy by Faith G. Harper, and then starting on probably The Great Gatsby next. So that'll be hopefully my next clip. I've finished that and started The Great Gatsby. And yeah, see you in the next clip. Hi, this is the final update for my readathon. It is 2 days later. I ended up falling asleep before 11, so I didn't do my final update. I did end up finishing up The Great Gatsby, but that was the next morning because I got really tired at the last 15 minutes, which is like, the last 15 minutes, just push through. I wanted to kind of understand what was going on in the story. It was a lot thicker word-wise than thickness of book, and I'll get into that in a second. So basically, I finished up The Crown, which I only had about 2 hours of that, so it was a pretty easy YA book to finish up. It had a lovely ending, but too many politics at the end that kind of ruined it for me. And then I started on Unfuck Your Intimacy by Faith G. Harper, I believe. And it was a thick, like not thick as in big book, but thick as in words. It was very technical and everything, and I enjoyed it. It actually, I think, helped me a little bit because I have some emotional problems that I needed to read the book for, and it really made me think and everything. It's one of those that I would say a lot of people should read just because it's about intimacy and love and sex and things like that. But it's a thick read, as in the content is thick. Not the actual, or the substance in the book is thick, not the book itself. Because the book itself is only 192 pages. Which is why it was on my list, because it was a shorter book to read. And then The Great Gatsby was the last book I finished. And I finished that actually the next morning. And it was a hard read for me. I know I was listening to audiobooks for all of these, and it's like, how is it a hard read? You still have to understand what you're listening to. And there were parts where I didn't realize at the end when, spoiler alert, Gatsby ends up dying, sadly, and everything. And I didn't realize that. I thought another character died. And I was wrong. So it's like there were parts that kind of blurred in places, and I actually found the book rather boring, which is kind of weird because it was about parties, had some romance, some betrayal, a lot of lies, and then a murder or two murders at the end. So it was interesting at parts, but boring a lot of other parts. I don't understand why it's a classic, but, you know, it's a classic, and I've finally got around to listening/reading it. So I only gave it 2 stars when I reviewed it, where the other books, one got 5 stars and one I think got 3 or 4 stars on Goodreads. I don't know, it didn't thrill me, but it probably would thrill someone else. It's like, it varies on, every book varies. I mean, I'm not the ideal audience for it, I suppose. So, the readathon, I think I should have planned better. Overall, like I said before, I did it at a drop of a hat. My group on a group I'm on in Goodreads was doing a 24-hour readathon, so I decided, oh, I'm not going to sleep. Yeah, I slept for about 8 hours, like a normal person. I just did it in chunks, which was stupid because I should have just slept for the normal amount, and then I would have just been able to read. I probably would have read more if I would have slept like a normal person rather than splitting up the sleep. I thank my little dog for letting me get sleep because she kind of forced me and my fiance into going to sleep. She has a sleep schedule and makes sure that the humans keep to it. And it's going to annoy her because I'm going to try another 24-hour readathon later on. And she's going to be annoyed. And I'm probably just going to try not to fall asleep when I have her curled up next to me, either reading or listening to audiobooks. So, overall, this experience, I think I could do better. I'm going to try again later. I probably just plan it a week ahead of time rather than a couple hours. Because I had already been awake for about 12 hours, so it would have been like a 36-hour readathon almost. And so, yeah, that's not good. Alright. So overall, decent experience. Got 3 books read, which was pretty good. And so, yeah. Please like and subscribe if you like my content. And bye-bye.